Hello, hello, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to an extremely special session of Pokemon Spectrum, session number 19. This is the crossover session. Uh, for those of you who are not aware, as tradition of my campaigns, uh, there is usually one crossover session where the cast of the current campaign somehow ends up in the world of the previous campaign. Um, and because the way that this campaign is designed, it's one big part of a whole giant expanded universe, and they all affect each other at some point. There are things that occur in one campaign that directly affects a completely different campaign, even if it's a completely different franchise, which I personally find really interesting. Your mileage may certainly vary. So, if crossover sessions is not your thing, totally get it, totally understand. You don't have to watch if you don't want to. The warm up question for today, I would like to ask all of the Pokemon players to explain which of the Dragon Age characters they think would be most interesting for their character to interact with and why. And then the exact same question for the Dragon Age players, which of the Pokemon players are they most interested for their character to interact with and why?
For Molly, I'm very interested in interacting with Kenna. I think Molly and Kenna would get along pretty well just because Kenna has a very strong connection to Esbjorn, and Molly also has a very strong connection to Bullet. And being that Bullet actually came along with us to Thetis, it could be very interesting to see how they interact with each other. And also, I just want Molly to learn some pranks from Kenna.
No,
Okay.
no, indeed. No, no more pranks,
Stay away from Theo.
please. No more accomplices.
I think Chase would like to talk with Cedric, and I
Hmm.
think mostly from not that he would know, but from the identity perspective, the fact that Cedric has had to deal with uh, learning how to be two people, I suppose, or have the memories of two, um, or if that's not the case, just understanding how to navigate those dual memories or multiple memories, whatever, multiple personalities. And he has the strict code that I think Chase lacks, and so he might learn the most from possibly hearing that perspective.
It would be most interesting to see Noir interact with. It's really close between Andrea and Theoben. But I think I'm going to go Theoben because Theoben also has a responsibility to care for someone. And dealing with a lot of pressure of that, and also having like all this weight of responsibility and quests going on. I think it would be interesting to get that perspective. Also, Theoben's been through a lot, so it'd be nice to get some advice, maybe.
Theoben's looking after some sort of family member that has this weird, mysterious power that he doesn't fully understand. What? What?
I don't see any resemblance here.
I don't see the connection.
This is one because I'm still going back and forth in my head, and I'm sorry this person actually isn't with us today. I would have loved to have seen just how Tiffany would have bounced off of Halisair, someone who's so strong in her faith, and Tiffany's so, I'm an atheist, even with everything I've seen. But as she is not here today, sadly, I will go with the other really strong candidate of Andrea. Tiffany is also very into her guile and her influence, and she likes her nice things. Also, Kyle's kind of a little eccentric in some ways. So, how did you bag him? What's married life like with that? Okay, we got this. Notes.
Cool. I was thinking Cedric, because basically, I think that Voldemort just took him way too quickly, and it'd be nice to be able to catch up a little bit and just learn a little bit more about his past. But realistically, just the whole circle thing that he has going, if I understand it all correctly, or the Templar or whatever, I think that I don't know. It's not really so much the Cassie would want to talk to him, but I think that it could have interesting interactions going on. And then interesting that they're a couple because my other would be Andrea because of apparently the enchantress kind of side of things. So that could be interesting from a science person.
Okay. Andrea has definitely dealt with magic and scientific explanations in another crossover, but
Alone. Be okay.
I was gonna say Molly too, because I mean, for all the reasons that you said though. Okay, so now I don't have anything. But we did kind of talk a little bit before the session, and we talked about how we're kind of tricksters, and also, as they mentioned in this chat, the stealth off kind of thing would be really fun because you're gonna lose. So, but I think
what is it with your competitions during these crossovers? It was Esbjorn versus Maximilian. Now you want to do a stealth off. Anyway,
that was really sad when he
it's
lost.
always a competition for you.
I don't know. What? I don't hold grudges. Okay, so but I also think there's a lot of other interesting characters to mix with. I think all of us in the session we went through identity crises on who we are. So I think that was a big theme in our game. So I think with Chase, I think he could interact with any of us because we all went through big identity issues, but Cedric most because of all that.
No, I think this exercise is really important because this has actually happened in the previous crossovers as well, is that players start finding similarity. Even though you guys are from completely two different worlds, your experiences are similar to a lot of the other characters. And I think that it would be really interesting to find how those experiences would gel together.
Well, I was kind of split down the middle between Noir and Cassie. Noir, actually, for a lot of the reasons that Ella has already said. Actually, the scenes with Fabian are like some of my favorite of the Pokemon spectrum so far. It really resonated a lot with me, that relationship. So and of course Theoben has those similarities as well, in the sense that he is caring for a young one. I think they could relate on a very personal basis in that regard. And then my other choice was going to be Cassie, because Theo has also had the experience of being the smart, snarky one in the group. I feel like those personalities would bounce off each other really well. So I think that they would have a very interesting dynamic if they were to spend time together. So that's kind of two. Is that okay?
It doesn't matter if it's okay. You already did it. So.
Hey.
What I'm learning right now is that you're all cheaters. That's what I'm learning.
The win is right.
That's like taking a bite out of my plate, eating it, and you're like, was that okay? No,
Hey, I have like a paragraph summary of each of these people. How am I supposed to pick one definite person from that?
Fine. All right, I'll play by the rules. I pick Cassie, also you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, likewise. I pick the dwarf.
Hey.
The obvious choice for Cedric would be the psychic Noir, but I don't like. I haven't watched any of the sessions because I wanted to kind of go into this as Cedric would go into this blind, and I didn't want anything to like kind of skew my results. Not expecting this question, even though I should have. But just by looking at all the pictures, Chase looks like a big dude, and Cedric's kind of the guy who walks into the room, finds the biggest dude, and is like, all right, like that guy. I gotta, if I'm not sizing myself up to that guy, I've got to at least appear on the same level as that guy, and just make sure that if anyone's here to like mess with my charges, they're gonna have to deal with like a really strong dude. So I mean,
That sounds like what Chase would say, but anyway.
yeah. So yeah, it's like I didn't know about the whole identity crisis, so that just adds more to that fire.
Yes,
or
that
more to
fire.
the reasons.
I think Chase and Tiffany both work really well with Andrea, because by the sounds of it, Tiffany is, kind of stuck up and stuck in her own ways, like Andrea. And Chase comes from a pretty similar background. She's also from a family that's been wiped out, and she has no idea who she is. But unlike him, she's kind of just accepted that. And over the years, there was a time she cared, and then she made a new family, and that was this party. So,
Welcome to the Breach in Thetis. So, for those of you who are not aware, the Breach is actually the hideout of the Pentavive Guardians. The Pentavive Guardians being the name of the adventuring group from Dragon Age Resurgence. It is an underground cavern that was created mostly by Theoben. Him having control of Earth itself, was able to excavate this land to make this vast map that you see before you. So it is approximately 1 year after the events of the end of Dragon Age Resurgence, and the Pentavive Guardians have been doing what they've been decided that they were responsible for, is to watch over different regions of Thetis, but I will let them explain that to you in character if such a thing arises, if that ends up being an important thing. So I will let that naturally play out. For right now, I will say that the 5th Pentavive Guardian, Violetta, is currently out doing her own mission at the moment, which is fine, because sometimes not all of you are at the breach all at once. I mean, sometimes you guys will be there all together, but today it just so happens that the 4 of you are at the breach currently. Where do you think, Dragon Age players, your character would be in the breach? Where you are placed now is not necessarily where you have to be at this very moment. We'll say that it's approximately... we'll say it's about to be lunchtime. We'll say it's like around 11 o'clock. So I don't know if you are an early lunch eater or late lunch eater. It's roughly 11 o'clock. Where would you say your characters would be at this time in some arbitrary day of the week?
Food court.
Food court? All right.
Me and Esbion are eating.
You guys are feasting at the food court. Now, I think that normally... Well, you know what? This is your pad. So, of course, Esbjorn's allowed to eat at the food court if he wants. So there's this big barrel of fish in front of him, which Esbjorn is currently devouring. How about the other 3?
You said it's around noon?
Mm-hmm.
11 o'clock. It probably will be. It's around 11 o'clock. Not quite noon yet.
I already placed them there, but the stairs.
All right, Cedric's on his stairs as usual. All right.
And full armor as well. It's not the morning run anymore. It's it's time to go hard.
Fair enough. How about Andrea?
I'll be at the beach.
You're at the beach? All right.
Yeah. Oh,
I moved Theoben over to Halaser's statue. I think he would just he would talk to her for a bit.
Theoben's at the statue. You said you wanted to talk to Halaser? Or to Halaser's statue, rather?
Yeah, I didn't have anything in specific that I wanted him to say. I figured that he would still try to act as if she's there, and he would still like tell her about his day and confide in her and stuff. So he would be spending his afternoon doing that, or at least mid-afternoon.
All right. while you're spending time hanging out in front of Halaser's statue, Theobin, could you please roll a perception hearing? And I'd actually like for all of the characters to roll a perception hearing. Feel free to use whatever it is on your character sheet for your Dragon Age specific. So, Theobin, you start noticing a sudden drop in air pressure around you. And it feels similar to a drop in pressure when there is a massive amount of magical energy welling up in a specific area. It feels like it's contained in that spot around where Halaser's statue is.
My wizardy powers impress once again.
That's true. Why is you're always detecting magic? You're always, the dwarf is the magic. Riz in Dragon Age, in the Dragon Age universe, dwarves can't cast magic. They're very not good at magic at all, and yet Theobin keeps making all the magic rolls.
It was our live session where I decided to roll magic just for the hell of it and got 665. Okay, so Theobin feels around Halaser's statue. Then he's going to instinctively run and grab the statue, protectively.
Okay. Oh, you can't move it because it's,
So I know that. He's clinging to the statue. Okay.
All right. He's clinging to the statue. Cedric, while you have a very, very high perception roll, while you're climbing down the stairs, you're on your way down, you're actually reaching near the entrance back into the breach. You suddenly feel the ground subtly shaking, almost like a small earthquake.
Okay, I think he would just hurry down just to make sure that everything is okay structural wise, and make sure no one gets buried in.
Theobin, you will see materialize before you. So this is a fountain right over here. So I'm going to say above the fountain will be this giant ring-looking thing, this orange hoop-looking thing. It's semi-transparent at first, but it's starting to become more and more opaque. So it's parallel. The hoop is parallel to the fountain, parallel to the ground.
Okay. One second. Cedric!
Cedric, with your perception roll, you can faintly hear the sound of your name being called by Theobin.
I think with his name being called and the earthquake, he would naturally pick up the pace a lot.
All right. I'm going to say that while you guys are eating, you and Esbjörn are eating, Kenna, you won't have felt the ground shaking, but you will faintly hear somebody yelling out. And at the same time, you can't tell what the person said or who is saying it, but you hear someone yelling out something, and then you see Cedric running from his stairs towards the statue of Halaser, towards that direction.
I took off too, but then I remembered I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna grab some of the cookies, and then I'm gonna go chase after him.
Esbjörn will follow after you. So if you guys want to make your way towards the fountain and the statue, by the time that Kenna and Cedric arrive at the statue, the orange hoop-looking thing has now materialized into a solid form, and pops out into the fountain. went into the hoop? Which of the main characters went into the hoop first?
Molly.
I think
Was it
it was Molly.
Molly?
Yeah.
Molly? All right. This girl, this young girl, who is wearing, I guess, basically what you're seeing in your journal for Molly. So Molly, you land into this fountain with a big splash of water, and you find yourself in this cavern, and you have no idea where you are.
Molly just she sits there dumbfounded for a second, and then she looks around at all these people looking at her, and she just says, "I should be surprised, but I'm not." She just stares at everyone.
I am. Who are you?
My name's Molly. Long story, there's more people coming, and she'll try to scramble out of the fountain.
What?
Invasion!
As she says that, Chase, same thing. You will end up in a splash of water. So why is it always you and splashing into water?
Chase takes off his clothes, his wet clothes.
Well,
It begins.
you, let the other characters react first as you come jumping into
No, that was a
into the
joke. Let's
fountain.
pretend. Let's just cut that out. Let's just.
Aw,
Okay.
leave it in. It's funnier.
So yeah, splashes in the fountain. Super confused. He's still looking at the portal to see what just happened, and he hasn't even looked around. He hasn't noticed the other heroes. He steps out of the fountain and searches for Molly first, and just locks his eyes on her, and he still doesn't see the others.
Okay.
Yeah. She just says, "Ian, I'm here."
Good. You're safe.
I'm safe. We have company.
We have company.
All right, I'm not trying to be rude, but you just came out of that fountain, so if you'd like to maybe explain that.
Can Cedric cast, or not cast, but do the, try and do the dispel?
Chase slowly reaches for the rod in his pocket that turns into not that one, the one that turns into the sword.
I've been here before.
Okay, wait. The one that
The sword.
the one that the sword.
rocket.
Oh, okay. So Cedric is about to cast some sort of ability, Templar ability, and do you pull out the sword, or you just hold on to this?
He just grabs it, but I think he has to turn it on for
Yeah, you do have to turn it on.
So it just looks like a billy stick at this point. But he does take hold of it. Oh, it's
Is
in
it
his
in
hand.
view? I guess is.
It's in hand,
it's-
but it's not a sword.
But it's
just-
not a sword yet. Got it. Okay.
The club! No.
So Cedric is about to cast his ability. Before the ability is cast, though, another person falls out of the hoop, and that is
I think it was Kyle Tiffany next.
Tiffany.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, and we'll have the lieutenant also. So,
Oh! Stands up, flips hair back, looks around. Where's here? Yes, and hello, new people. Sorry for barging in. Kind of an emergency. You okay, Kyle?
Kyle picks himself up. Once Kyle gets his bearings, he is going to put himself in front of Tiffany, like shielding her from the rest of these strangers right now. And his hand goes to the holster of the pistol on his hip, but he doesn't pull out his gun yet. He just has it on the on it just in case.
How many crossbows?
Believe me when I say you don't want to ignore me again.
Sorry,
You just
what?
came out of Theobin says, believe me when I say you don't want to ignore me again.
I'm sorry, I
You
didn't
just-
hear what you said the first time.
All of you just came out of that fountain.
Yes.
That's, I don't know where you're from, but that's not normal here.
Okay. It's
Well-
also not normal where we're from, but like I said, emergency, and we should have a few more coming.
Yeah, so save the speech till the end. There's still a few more coming. Sorry.
No more coming. Dispel.
I'm for Andrea. I yell her name.
Yell my name.
Yeah, I yell it.
All right, you're gonna yell out Andrea's name. Okay, Andrea, I'll let you roll another perception hearing.
Oh god, no. It's so
Cedric,
bad.
Cedric, you are going to cast Dispel, and you can visually see. How would you visually describe your Dispel?
I see it as like a lyrium blue energy wave, just kind of like shooting out from like his hand, like because he'll like charge it up and then hit a surface, and then from that surface, like a wave will shoot out, a blue wave.
Okay. So you will unleash this wave, and you hear this cracking sound, and the hoop itself starts to flicker. It doesn't shatter, but it flickers.
Please don't. I don't want to lose my friends.
Advanced magic, and then he'll pull out his sword and axe. A second.
Chase tackles the guy who just did the aura ability. That's risking the game.
Oh no!
This is just a crossover tradition, guys.
We don't even have the full cast here.
You're not gonna have the whole cast here if this guy keeps it up.
All right.
How about
So
we take these guys out? We become the new guardians here. Come on.
so Chase, roll a acrobatics, and what would probably make sense skill-wise for an oppose? Would you say, Kevin? Do we want to say?
He's not gonna try and get out of the way. If he's gonna get tackled, Cedric
He's just gonna.
Cedric is like more of a brute, like a might.
Well, yeah, I'd say.
So you're gonna
might,
try to
like,
stand your ground. Roll a might to try to stand your ground. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In the meantime, can I hear? I rolled a 12.
Yeah. Yes. You will, but I'll get to you. Yes, you will.
Okay.
I'll get to you. So. 22 acrobatics. Go ahead, roll your might. Oh, 27. Wow. Okay. So, I'm going to say that you managed to make contact, Chase, with this knight in armor, but not enough to take him down. So you basically have him in sort of a grapple, but not enough to basically incapacitate him in any way.
I'm gonna assume
Boys,
that's the round.
stop it.
Yeah. I was like, can I do anything or no? He's just hugging
Well,
it out.
Tiffany just says, "Boys, stop it." Would you
just
like to
silly putty.
roll a? Would you like to roll a persuasion, please, or charm, or whatever?
I would
whatever
like to roll a
equivalent.
charm. I'm good at those.
Roll a charm. 21. Okay. So I'm going to say that for the Dragon Age characters, you at least believe that Tiffany's intentions are not for ill will. At least enough to prevent you guys from outright attacking them, and not necessarily, and at least seeing Chase's reaction as a form of self-defense, at least.
So it's all of them and not just her.
Well, she's the one who's actually trying to persuade you. She's trying to charm or persuade you.
Okay.
Yes.
So she's at least persuading you enough of what the group's intent is, and she's persuading you that the group's intent is nothing ill will, and at worst, what Chase just did is self-defense.
Does Kenna want to react to all this? Because she's with us.
Yes,
So-
Kenna, go ahead.
So, I'm gonna use my bar talent. It's a master level, and basically I can shout something or sing something, and if they fail a test, they have no actions, and so I'm trying to get them to stop. And I'm just basically gonna hold my staff and slam it on the ground, and so it makes it really loud, like a captain and tell
Like
them both
Gandalf.
to stop. Yeah, basically. Stop
You
that!
shall not act.
So they basically are stunned and they can't do anything.
And who's they? Who is the they?
Both of them, anybody I want, anyone who can hear it, they all have to stop.
You're talking about everyone in that vicinity.
Yes.
Everyone
oh wait, no,
in the
it's
vicinity.
one person. So I'm gonna do Chase. Sorry, I apologize. It's one person.
All right. One
I'm just
turn.
gonna get them to stop. Just fighting
All right.
for a second. So I make a communication performance, and he makes a willpower self-discipline, whatever that would be.
Whatever the equivalent will be. So I think that would be a focus. I think that would be a focus.
Agreed. Focus.
Roll your focus.
I will disagree with all of this, and I will at will kick off rage, which makes that void.
Does
Okay.
that? What?
Okay.
It ignores.
Mixed
it ignores its
mechanics.
I'm
Why
like,
did you
Now,
guys
can you do that
trigger
as a? Can you do that as a interrupt?
It says at will.
At,
Oh, does it have? No.
Can you do it
And
as
will
an
is not
interrupt?
interrupt. Yeah.
And will is not interrupt.
Okay,
Will is-
that's fine. So here, let's do a.
It was no good. It
What would
was
it be?
18. Well, that's 18. That's 18.
That's 18.
Let's
All right.
speed check to see who gets off
Focus.
first.
Focus. Let's go focus.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice. Well,
Um,
not really,
So-
but
So Kenna attempts to stun Chase as she slams down her staff to the ground, but Chase is focus. He manages to resist the stunning. And I will say it'll be at this point when Kenna slams her staff to the ground, Andrea will hear the commotion coming from Halisair's statue.
Alright. Oh, I'm in a bikini. So
Okay.
I've got a
Inconsistent
sun hat
Venus.
on, and I just throw my shawl on, and like part over there, like what is going on? And they're all in a fountain, right?
There's a few characters. There's like 4 people that you don't know, that you don't recognize, wearing really strange clothes. One of the outfits, one of the women, however, is wearing really nice outfit though, almost Orlesian, but not
still
Orlesian.
triple ruffle.
Something,
Very nice.
yes, not, or almost like
like the
Orlesian, but
movies.
totally different from Orlesian.
All right. All right. Could I make an action?
I will allow you to make an action now when you
Okay.
arrive at the scene.
So I'd like to activate my bracelet because they're all in a fountain, right?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I like raise the water up and freeze it around their arms?
Yes, you can. Roll your
Ah.
roll your magic roll.
Don't mess with my husband. It's just.
So Molly and Tiffany and Kyle now see the water swirling around them, and then it quickly freezes around their wrists, almost like handcuffs.
Yeah, I'm not hurting anyone. Just like no.
Kyle is going to be shocked and he's going to struggle. What in Arceus' name is happening? He yells out.
Yeah, as I told you, this is kind of weird here, and you just came into our area
I
without.
know, and we're terribly sorry about that.
What is this emergency you talked about?
Very angry god chasing us.
Imagine
So you
a
come
giant. Imagine a
Well, we
giant.
didn't have a choice.
Imagine a giant, scary, very angry dragon god chasing us. Okay, we didn't try to come here. We just ended up here.
Dragon? Oh no.
There's only one place I know that worships dragon gods.
Dispel again.
Again,
Screw that. I don't want
people,
that coming after us.
Please don't kill them.
Theo, you said there's a dragon god coming after you. Dispel.
He's got a spell button.
You're gonna try to dispel, and then the poop flickers again. It doesn't shatter it, but it flickers.
Can Molly reach her Pokeball?
Is she frozen?
I think your hands are frozen, though. I don't think you could technically,
Are
unless
they-
you want to.
Are they like with free
I
fingers,
assume
or are
they're
they like
I
this?
assume you're mages, and mages can't cast if they can't move their hands. So,
Okay.
those-
So they're probably like this.
So, all right, never mind then.
sorry.
Are you from Tevinter?
So mad.
Kanto.
We're from Kanto. We were in Saffron City before all of this happened.
I don't know those words.
Sounds like Tevinter towns. Must be assassins.
I don't recognize the name as Tiffin. She's like,
Yeah, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't sound to Vinter to you.
that
Those
doesn't
do
ring
not sound.
I mean, I don't know where Kanto is, but that dress is fab. I'm just saying.
Aw, thank you. I love your bikini.
It's uneven.
Don't know what that means, but I'm assuming cool.
Angry God. No.
Dispel.
Can I just bring up something to that might occur to Tiffany or Molly? You could try
Okay.
emotional appeal because you know a certain ex person is coming through, and they're young.
That's true.
right.
Emotional appeal might work.
Okay. Do you want this to be a charm roll or not just a roll, just say something?
Kill.
If you want to keep your previous charm value, I'll allow you to keep the previous charm value. Otherwise, if you want to re-roll a new one, that is your choice.
Thank you. We have a child coming through. Are you people murderers?
I've killed many people, yes.
The traits are good.
20.
Wait, what do you mean you have a child coming?
Just what we said. There's a child coming. So shiny guy, whatever you're doing, please just wait.
Why is there a child running from an angry dragon god? What are you people into?
What are we into? You don't know what I'm into.
Touche. All right. I want to see this child come through.
So just hold off, all right? Hold off on the whatever you're doing to the hoop, okay? Please.
Is she
What are the odds
lying?
that another god's coming? That the god's coming through, though.
Well, let her.
No.
I still think my companion should have the ability to be able to freeze your hands.
Well,
All right. Understandable.
well,
Just
she
let
has.
our friends through, please.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry, Roma.
No, it's fine.
Can we roll to see if she was lying?
Not.
You can roll. You can roll. Go ahead.
I don't know these people.
Kenna, you don't think that they're lying at all. You think they definitely are telling the truth.
Alright. I think we should hold off. Let them come through, Cedric.
That's just more enemies.
We've done this once before. Kind of, in a way. Don't stop. Stop
This
it.
is our world. Get out. No more.
Cedric.
Cedric, think of a child.
They're telling the truth.
Yes, listen to the pretty lady.
You know, that's as good as you're gonna get from him. Let the rest of them through.
Molly is.
All right.
Molly is. Sorry.
You have 2 minutes. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep trying to take down this circle.
All right. So Cedric will briefly stop his assault on the hoop, and the hoop will manifest itself into a solid form. Now there was a bit of a bottleneck that was sort of forming behind. So as soon as the hoop, go ahead. As soon as the hoop materializes, it's like one right after the other. So
pile of bodies, especially
Yeah,
those
so
that
a
are
pile-
frozen in place.
yeah, so you will end up seeing a girl with long hair, Noir. She will fall into the fountain. In addition to a young boy who looks similar to her, fall into the fountain. And then that's all the main PCs, right? I think I got
Also,
all. Oh,
they
sorry,
don't
Cassie.
fall.
Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie isn't through.
Noir
We
will
lost
gently
her.
float down, and she will gently float down Fabian as well, because she can do that. She'll just catch
Oh my
herself.
God.
She'll just levitate
Alright.
2 meters above the ground.
All right, Fabian,
She'll catch
the
anyone
boy, and the girl will float down as everybody else behind them falls into the fountain. In addition to 12 elves, there'll be about a dozen elves that fall from the hoop.
You're not
I would
looking
like-
at any less like Tevinter at this point.
They're
I'm
bringing
just
their blood slaves. Just now.
I will ask all of the Dragon Age players to roll a perception, please. Andrea, you recognize these elves. You know these elves. These elves are Bostwick's servants.
I thought that was kind of where you're going.
So is that Andrea screaming?
From Tevinter. There's a Bostwick servants.
What?
And as soon as she says that name, this individual is the last person to pop out of the hoop before the hoop disappears. Bostwick falls out. He looks around. He doesn't see Andrea right away, but he looks around as his eyes adjust to the light to the caverns. I think we're home. Finally. What happens?
I take it you know them? Can you convince them we're not harmful? Mostly?
I beg your pardon.
I can't breathe.
Andrea? His eyes immediately lands on Andrea, and his eyes go wide, and he says very briefly, "Andrea, is that you?"
Excuse me, and I like totally missed the fact that there are strangers and a mage here, and I go and hug my Bostwick. He's alive.
Soaking wet. It doesn't seem like he's bothered by the soaking wet clothes.
No,
But
it's not wet.
Isn't
No,
it
I've got
nice?
caught everyone who fell out after
Well,
her,
you're in a
like
fountain.
gently floated in the dry ground.
No,
Unless
you're in a
anyone stopped her.
Oh, you teleported people to the ground? What?
No, telekinetically like floated people. You can-
You're not teleported, floating them with her mind.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Can you do that? Can you do that to 14 people? 15 people?
Well, if they're all coming like one over another, like she'll put them down real quickly and go boom, 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 boom,
All
boom,
right.
boom. Just
Okay,
very
so maybe
focused.
Bostwick is not as soaking wet, but at any rate, he will reach out his arms and he will give Andrea a very deep embrace.
I've been gone for a year.
Has it been a year already? My,
Yeah.
time really flies when you're, well, where we were at least. Let me get a good look at you. Oh, Andrea, my girl, you look stronger than ever. If that was ever possible.
It is, and I got married. And she's like,
Did you really? To whom?
oh, Cedric. She's like,
Oh, the Templar.
yeah, you guys got along so well.
You got married to the Templar. I see. Well, how about that? Did not see that coming.
Theo's just going to say, as an aside to Kenna, it's not hard for people to use a door.
Cassie, meanwhile, has been quickly looking around as soon as she was gently telekinetically placed down, so thank you for that, Mar. But after determining that they were no longer in Kansas, she's gonna look to the strangers and just say, "Alright, I don't give a shit about what kind of reunion you guys are having. Where the hell are we?"
We don't give a shit about you. Get the hell out.
Cassie, language.
Hands, please.
Please.
They're not gonna cast magic on us, are they, Bostwick? It's just like.
I'm gonna say that at this point, Fabian is starting to get really antsy. So for the Dragon Age players, this boy is showing signs of. I feel like we're gonna say that in Dragon Age, they're at least aware of such a thing as being on the spectrum. They're aware of people who are on the spectrum, and so Fabian seems to be having some sort of a kind of a panic attack right now because he doesn't know where he is. This is strange surroundings. He doesn't know who these people are, so he's starting to make a bit of a antsy fuss right now, as if.
No, I will just tell everyone to like back off. Can you please back off from my brother, please? and just like be there, like speak comfortably to him, and she'll like hum a little song. And go, it's okay, he's not gonna hurt you. Okay, I'm going to protect you. It's gonna be all right. Okay, Fabian.
He's making a lot of noises. He's still like shaking a bit, but he does not seem comfortable at all, and he's making some really strange, loud noises that you can't really decipher.
This is your child?
He's my little brother. I'm his soul guardian.
If there's anything that makes him comfortable, an item or something, you should probably give it to him.
He just needs some time to soothe, and can everyone just back away from him for a bit?
I want to go home.
It's a little much.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
I know. I'm sorry. Sorry. We can't do that right now. But I'll get you home, I promise. I'll get you home, and I'll get you all home, and it'll be okay. Just need to stay here for a little while.
Noir, we can't just stay here. He's right. We have to go back.
I agree.
We have a deadline.
I also agree. I just need to stay here for like 5 minutes while I figure out how I'm going to deal with a god. Because I thought the god problem was all fixed when we went to the dream world and they were all nice to us and giving us gifts, but apparently not. Like, apparently, not done enough for them.
Right, will you take your 5 minutes to figure that out? We'll take 5 minutes to talk to these fine folk, figure out how we're supposed to get off of this place.
Why don't you step out of the fountain?
Should we get unfrozen first, please?
Yeah, you might have to kind of. He does the motion.
Bostwick, you trust them, right? Can I?
Chase
Yes.
will go. Chase will walk up to the Molly's.
Chase frozen?
Chase is with Cedric. If
Yeah,
it was,
he was out.
Who got frozen?
Everyone in the fountain.
Yeah, Chase was wrapped around
Okay.
Cedric like a lover. So he's going to move towards.
Oh, you two are
Molly.
wrestling in the fountain? You're crushing my fangirl dreams here.
Walks over to Molly. He wraps his hands around the ice handcuff thing that's around her, and he just says, "Fire will guide us," and it melts away.
Thanks, Ian. And she will once her hands are unfrozen, she'll reach behind her and she'll pull out remorse, which is her sword, and she'll activate it into the flames.
Well, that's not fair. Our fire is missing at the moment.
We're trying to be friendly, and the first thing you guys do is pull weapons after teleporting.
I'm just gonna melt the ice. That's all I want to do, okay?
My ice is gone.
Thank you.
She snaps her fingers and the water melts immediately, instantly.
Don't need this anymore. Puts it back. There.
So, where is here exactly, if you don't mind my asking?
Yes, where is here? The gentleman with blue hair says.
Tatus.
No bells.
Nope.
Bostwick explains, Thedas, he turns to Chase. Bostwick turns to Chase. Thedas is where I'm from. It's a realm far, far away from where you all live. It's where your world is where I escaped to. I was a fugitive there just as much as I suppose you all are fugitives here right now.
Yeah, I'm used to that feeling.
You fled and you hid amongst the crowd as a beggar.
Ironic, isn't it?
As a beggar? You?
I lived my entire life as a nobleman. Riches, fine clothing. I really liked my nice things. However, I thought that it would be fitting for me to repent for my sins of my previous life by spending my final days in utter poverty instead. And I must say that it's been very eye-opening experience living the way of the common folk.
Who wouldn't choose poverty?
Yes, Miss Noir, Bostwick says.
So you're not cobblestone, then?
No. Cobblestone was just a disguise. A glamour? It's a spell. I didn't really have my full magical abilities in your world. Magic doesn't exist in the same way that it does over here, but at least it was enough to disguise myself as well as, well, my companions, he says, turning to the elves. Not all of them chose to come back. Many of my servants decided to stay, where they thought they had a much better life. But these followed because they wished to be back home. The elven servants nod.
Well, now they are. So, what do you want to do now?
Lunch? She's like, why don't we sit down and talk and feed the child?
I am starving. I haven't had a very good meal in ages. Living out of a garbage bin is not nearly as good as chocolate or that mushroom couscous that my chef usually prepares for me.
I miss that.
That was so good.
So good.
All right, look, I don't know who you guys are, and I'll assume that you're good people.
Thank you.
But can we really just afford to sit down and have lunch right now? I mean,
strategy anyway.
I mean, we own.
You know how
Yeah.
You tell us, you
kill a
guys are the
god,
ones that
'cause-
came rushing through emergency, all that stuff. So
no,
You
exactly.
want that?
Every second that we're here is 1 second that innocent people could be dying right now.
Oh, I know how that is.
the god knows that we left that world, so it's probably left and gone searching other worlds by now.
But you don't know.
Knowing Giratina, from what I had learned in my brief studies while I was there, I believe that the only reason he would show himself is because he's after those that it believes defied the natural way of the world. By that I mean trying to bring back someone from the underworld, which means that they would only be targeting that person and that person alone.
They
Chase
wouldn't be
looks at
targeting the person
Fabian.
whose soul came from the underworld.
they
I
wouldn't.
would,
Right?
it would probably wish to have it back. Yes.
Good thing there's nothing like that here.
This kid again.
Again?
Nothing.
Again?
I didn't hear again. I had lunch.
Yeah,
Lunch,
lunch.
yes. Fabulous. Gets out of the fountain.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think that any of the lives back home are going to be in danger as long as they didn't, say, go into the underworld and try to bring back a lost soul.
Well, if we go back and learn otherwise, it's on you.
We didn't fully get introduced. You guys are.
How rude of us. I'm Tiffany Benoit. Pleasure. Holds out her hand.
He awkwardly takes it.
Actually, out of character, how tall is Theo?
I can give you the exact height. He is 4'10".
Oh, okay. Tiffany's actually taller. Surprised. Cool. 5'4".
Oh, all right. So he's slightly shorter than you, but he's got a very professional handshake.
Of course.
And isn't that really what matters?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. He's good with his hands. Just saying.
Yes. Very important. Always.
I'm Lieutenant I'm Lieutenant Kyle Jenny, the guy in the blue hair says. I am a member of the police force back home.
What?
And he will give a salute. Police force.
I think it's like guardsman. Just like
We uphold the law. We're law
Yeah.
enforcement.
Guardsman.
Okay.
guardsman.
Nice. nice.
His eyebrows kind of furrow at that, but he doesn't say anything.
It's okay, love. It's okay. That's his arm.
He'll offer his hand to Kyle as well.
He will accept the handshake. He also has a very firm grip.
Theobin Solney.
Nice to meet you, Theobin. Thank you for your hospitality, he says, looking around.
We can do better.
Molly is just staring at Esbjorn, and then she looks around and she says, "Oh yeah, my name's Molly, and by the way, what is that?
Bear tick? It's not.
It's
wait,
some
hold on.
weird. Is it some weird Ursa ring? Maybe?
Again.
Weird.
So Esbjorn is going to growl and he's going to grunt. To everybody else, to the Dragon Age ears, it sounds like a growl. To the Pokemon ears, what he's saying is Esbjorn, 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 Esbjorn.
It's an Esbjorn.
Freaks her out.
What? How did you know his name?
Oh,
It's an Esbjorn. That's what it said.
It's been saying it.
What type is it? What type is it?
The type
It's
that's
a bear.
would be god. He's pretty badass. Just-
Do you check it out with your phone?
Yeah, Molly's gonna take out her phone and she's gonna try to.
Oh,
Tiff is too.
Magical device. Just-
I turn him invisible. What are they doing to him?
You turn him invisible. Okay, you'll turn him invisible.
Slowly lowers phone, quirks head to the side. Huh. Neat.
That's a weird move.
Your Pokedex on your phone says error, unknown entity. Error, unknown entity.
They've never seen bears.
Bear ticks.
They're stealthily
Versus-
behind.
I got mauled by
everybody.
one. Once.
Oh, maybe stay away from Esbjorn.
What? When did you get
Although
mauled?
there's-
Oh,
There's
right.
more of a risk of
You were
him
there.
sitting on you, come to think of it. So, what kind of world doesn't have bears?
We have bear ticks, like I said.
Teddy Ursas. We have Ursa rings.
What are these words?
I think bears for them is bear ticks and teddy ursas for us,
Oh, okay.
Kyle says.
We're really very far from home, aren't we?
Hmm.
Oh.
Molly turns to
Pauses for the
Andrea.
first. Sorry, go ahead, Roma.
Molly turns to Andrea next and tries scanning her.
I expected that. I was like, if somebody tries to capture me, I swear to God.
I'm inventing Pokeballs, which I'm very disappointed in myself for.
It'll say error, unknown entity. Error, unknown entity.
I detect magic. What is she doing to me?
You detect magic. You don't detect any magic on. You don't detect magic on Molly. Does anyone have the Arceus? Nobody has the Arceus plates on them, correct? Nobody
Yes.
does.
No.
Does Cassie? Is that a truthful no or a...
No,
Is
she
it-
does.
She
it
does?
pocket
Okay.
no?
She might have all of them.
All right. So,
Are they in the Pokeball of holding?
Maybe.
all right.
Would it be able
That'll
to
be
scan through that?
Andrea, you will not detect magic from Molly, but you will detect some very powerful magic coming from Cassie's character. Very powerful magic.
Alright, so
And
I-
by powerful, I mean almost as powerful as your bracer. Almost.
Okay.
I would refer to it as at least.
I'm Andrea. She holds out her hand.
Cassie quietly folds her arms and turns her gaze away.
You do. Maybe in their world they don't have manners. She says.
I'm terribly sorry. My friends are idiots.
Also carrying very
Nice.
powerful magical artifacts by the looks of it.
At that
Great.
though, Cassie's brow perks and she quickly looks back. Doesn't say anything. But...
Magical artifacts?
Yes.
There must be some sort of mistake. Cassie is not a magical being.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't know about
They're
that.
all over her.
Really?
Hmm.
Bostwick starts to rub his chin.
We've been through a lot of shit lately. A lot of stuff's happened.
You also sense magic in Noir. Now, you don't detect Noir's psychic abilities, because psychic and magic are two different things. But what you do detect is that Noir has some magical bracelets. There's magical bracelets around her wrist. You can't really tell what school of magic it is, but it's, I would say, artifact level magic as well. Now that
Can
you
Cassie
notice it.
detect anything, by the way?
Yeah.
From Noir?
Well, no, not on Noir specific, but she's focusing more
Oh,
on the
I said in
group.
general? Roll a focus.
Okay, I
Focus.
will. Because I think that could be important.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say you can detect some really interesting supernatural energy. It's not aura, it's not psychic. It's similar to the energy that you can probably sort of sense from the Arceus plates, but there's definitely something really powerful going on with these four people, especially concentrated around one of their wrists. Each of them, if you will probably notice, has bracers, and you can probably sense that those bracers are magical in nature.
Did you say one in particular had the biggest reading, or they all from the bracers had the same kind of reading?
I'm gonna say that all of them probably have magic items on them, but definitely the most powerful of their magic items on them is their bracer.
Okay, cool.
Is it commonplace in your world to spend a little bit of time staring intently at people and pointing devices at them?
Yeah. Sorry.
Chase stares at everybody intently.
Molly
Please don't point your device at them.
Tiffany,
Molly continues
Actually-
pointing a device at them.
actually, well, Tiffany has her phone out. She has no bars, I'm guessing, right?
No, she doesn't have any bars. No.
Looks
Sorry.
very familiar. Yes.
Molly
Oh,
is
it's
taking.
back there.
Molly, go ahead.
No, Molly's just taking pictures of everything now. Everyone and everything.
It's clicking. The device is clicking.
We're just taking pictures. They're harmless.
The devices are completely harmless, I assure you, Bostwick says.
I have phones here.
What's a phone?
Oh, what backwater did you drop us in? No offense.
At that point, if she doesn't still have her hand out, Cassie will extend hers. Still seeming a little tentative, but
To Andrea, you mean?
Same, yeah.
I'll take her hand.
All right.
Pleasure. Why don't we get you all out of the fountain? We can sit down and we can discuss where you're from and how to get you back. She's like,
Thank you.